Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to Beacon Unitarian Universalist Congregation and Summit, a community of imperfect people seeking to heal the world as we feed our spirits together. My name is Jermaine Kripe. My pronouns are she, her. I am a plus-size African-American woman with blue and far too many gray hairs, wearing a mustard dress. I am a member of your Lifespan Ministry team. Thank you for joining us this morning, being here on the ancestral lands of the Lenni Lenape. You could be very well stayed home in your own world, in your own head, and in your own bed, but you decided to experience today with us. You choose to come to this space for fellowship, even virtually, and with other sojourners seeking ways to reconnect and rejuvenate for the work that we have, because we have yet another day to do something, to make the changes so desperately needed in this world. If you're newer to this community, I hope you start to like it. And you'll join us hopefully this afternoon after our second service for Connecting, a short introduction to what this community is and how you can be a part of it. You'll join our Reverend Robin up in the library at 12:30 or virtually. If you're online, you'll look in the chat for the link. This morning also marks the return of our youth boutique. There were actually some 18-somethings in the building earlier. So they're downstairs, and it's a place for you guys to go and experience our youth in person, they exist, and also support them in the efforts and works that they do. So while you're downstairs for social hour, getting a cup of coffee and something special we in the children's program are gonna do, we're not gonna tell you what it is, you can take a look at what they have available and help support their ministry. So welcome, you questioners longing for sanctuary and those who are holding on by a thread, determined breakers of the chains of loneliness and isolation. Welcome, you who seek spiritual and religious community for your children and your grandchildren. We welcome you all for the gifts that you bring, your trust, your joy, and your curiosity. And we commit to creating brave spaces for you and being accountable to one another as an anti-racist, anti-oppressive community that centers marginalized voices, especially when what they have to share with us is sometimes hard to hear. And when we break our agreements with one another, we can offer amends because there is grace enough here. There is in this place the possibility of healing, of repair, and of making things right within ourselves and between us and with our world. So remember, there is in this place possibility. Welcome, friends, both new and old, near and far away. Sit down for a spell and worship with us. Welcome home.
Thank you, Jermaine. My name is Tuli Patel. My pronouns are she, her. And every time we gather, we light our chalice. And so this morning, I invite you to join me in a responsive chalice lighting. So I'll say the words and you repeat them back to me. We light this chalice. For the light of truth and reality. The warmth of love and compassion. And the fire of commitment and promise. We light this symbol of our faith. as we gather together.
As we gather together.
Thank you all.
I invite you to rise in body or spirit to join in singing our opening hymn, which is number 126, Come Thou Fount of Every Blessing. 126. Come Thou Fount of every blessing, tune our hearts to sing Thy grace, streams of mercy never ceasing, call for songs of loudest praise. While the hope of life's perfection fills our hearts with joy and love, teach us ever to be faithful. May we still Thy goodness prove. Come Thou Fount of every vision, lift our eyes to what may come. See the lion and the young lamb dwell together in Thy home. Hear the cries of orphans silent, feel the love through like the sun. Teach us how serve one another, then our heaven is begun. Come Thou Fount of inspiration, turn our lives to higher ways. Lift our gloom and desperation, show the promise of this day. Help us find ourselves in union, help our hands to love around. With Thy name, O Fount of justice, earth be fair as heaven above. It is so wonderful to hear your voices. Thank you so much for joining and singing. I want to introduce our pianist, John O'Neill.
Whoa, John.
And my name is Misa Iwama. I'm the director of music ministry. My pronouns are she, hers, and we are delighted that you are here today.
Thank you, everybody. So for our story for all ages this morning, we first begin with a collective bow. Bow, everybody bow. Thank you. To P.D. Eastman and his book, Are You My Mother? Thank you for the collective bow. Also for this story for all ages, don't know if there's a backwards or forwards to this thing, but my name is Mallory. Can you all say that? Hi, you got it right, okay. So like I said, hi, I'm Mallory, and this is my good friend Jermaine. And Jermaine, you have some creature with you.
Oh, this is Jeevan.
Hi, Mallory. Will you be my friend like Jermaine is?
Maybe? What are you?
I'm me.
Yeah, this is Jeevan's Jeevan.
I mean, are you like a camel or a horse or like a tadpole? What are you?
What are all these things you speak of? I'm not sure what to call myself. But I do know that I see you and I hear you. And look, I have these furry things on my arm.
Yeah, that's
Wait,
all great.
is that an arm?
Yeah, well, I don't know if that's an arm or not. Yeah, all that's great. I'm so glad that you can see and hear me. But who do you belong to? They must look like you and have some kind of name?
You mean like who I hang with? Like my friend Jermaine? And, well, maybe you, if you'll be my friend.
But, okay, but what are you?
I'm me.
Jeevan's just Jeevan.
Stop being difficult, dude. Who's your family? Do they look like you?
Not really. Everyone in my family's very different. I have furry things, but my mom has spiky things. My other mom has curly hair, but mine is like this.
I think you need to go out and find who you belong to and what you are. Like, come up with a name.
Can I make it up? What's wrong with Jurafaffer?
There's no such thing as Jurafaffer. The way you find out who you are is to find out where you've come from and to whom you belong.
This is so confusing. I came from stage left, and I belong to me, my friends, my family. But I guess this is making you mad. And I'd like you to be my friend, so I will go looking. Jermaine, will you help me find out who I am?
Sure thing, buddy. Let's get along.
Hey there, you. Yeah. Do I belong to you?
Sure. I'll be your friend.
Woohoo! And you, yeah, over there, playing the piano. Do I look like you?
No,
Well, what are you?
I'm John.
John. Am I a John? John.
I don't think so.
And hello there. What do they call you?
What's your name?
Stanton.
Stanton. Am I a Stanton?
Is this a Stanton?
Maybe. Maybe I'm a Stanton. Okay, Mallory. So I went searching, and this is what I learned. I belong here at this time with these John and people. I think they're called people.
Okay, so you're a people, a person. Great. Now we can be friends. I just need to know what you are.
Thank you, Mallory. I'm so excited, but you know what? I think I'll make friends with those who aren't so worried about the what, especially if they have parts that are not furry or spiky or curly. I learned belonging isn't only about the what. Sometimes it's barely about the what at all, but the stories and the feelings, the laughter you've shared with a people or a Stanton, the food you eat, the way you sing together, or the threads in the quilt you pull over you at night to sleep. You think you can know me just because I'm a llama.
Ha! I knew it. You're a llama. Llama liar?
But that's not my whole story, not how I belong. You have to work to learn about me.
I guess like Jermaine's been doing.
I love hanging out with Jeevan and learning so much about Jeevan and like how they love to eat grass. And did you know that llamas chew their cud like cows? They spit it back up and chew it again.
You do you, Jeevan and Jermaine. You do you.
That's exactly my plan, together with these very odd-looking ostriches.
People, Jeevan, people, humans.
Potato, patata.
Whatever.
Here ends our story for all these.
Good morning, Beacon. My name is Mary Lee Crawley, and I will remember to take off my mask. And my pronouns are she and her. I am a chaplain at Beacon, and chaplains at Beacon extend spiritual care. And one ritual of our spiritual care is our community candle lighting. Together, we light candles of joy, sorrow, and gratitude. This morning, we will light a candle of sorrow for the typhoon that hit Japan. We will also light another candle of sorrow for Tropical Storm Fiona, which is headed for Puerto Rico. And we will light a candle of gratitude for all the new fall programs starting now at Beacon. For this and so much more, we invite you to come forward and light a candle in our community sanctuary or wherever you are, maybe on your altar at home.
My life flows on in endless song above earth's lamentation. I hear the real, though far off hymn that hails a new creation. No storm can shake my inmost calm, while to that rock I'm clinging, since love prevails in heaven and earth. How can I keep from singing? Through all the tumult and the strife, I hear that music ringing. It finds an echo in my soul. How can I keep from singing? No storm can shake my inmost calm, while to that rock I'm clinging, since love prevails in heaven and earth. How can I keep from singing? How can I keep from
Good morning. Our reading is titled Love After Love by Derek Walcott. The time will come when, with elation, you will greet yourself arriving at your own door, in your own mirror, and each will smile at the other's welcome and say, "Sit here, eat." You will love again the stranger who was yourself. Give wine, give bread, give back your heart to itself, to the stranger who loved you. All your life, whom you ignored for another, who knows you by heart, take down the love letters from the bookshelf. The photographs the desperate notes. Peel your own image from the mirror. Sit, feast on your life. So far, our reading. We next will take a few minutes for a brief consciousness, mindfulness, meditation moment. In order to prepare for it, find a comfortable but firm position in your chair. If you want, gently close your eyes or pick a fixed point to gaze at. Let your presence, let your being come to this place. Come to this moment. Right here, right now. We can start by focusing on our breath. Feel the rhythm of air getting in our lungs, our chest rising and falling. And we're going to start like a full body scan. We're going to take notice of our physical well-being, our mental well-being. We're going to start at the very top of your head. Scan down to your body, to your head, to your face. Notice your eyebrows, your eyes, your nose, your mouth, your jaw, your neck. And as you scan, if you feel some tension somewhere, try to bring warmth, loving kindness, compassion to where you feel the tension. And if you can, try to release some of that tension into the universe. If you get distracted, if you find your mind wandering to other thoughts that are not right here, that are not right now, be gentle to yourself, be kind to yourself, and bring your attention back to this scan. We continue to move down our body from our neck to our shoulders, to our chest, down to our spine, all the way to our tailbone. We find our stomach, our digestion, our arms, our hands. We go down to our pelvis. We feel the back of our legs. We sort of notice how the chair or where we seated is supporting us, is holding us up. We go down our knees, our calves, our ankles, our feet, and we know how our feet are grounded with the earth. And invite now your full self, your entire body, your whole being, including the parts that are invisible to the rest of the world. And try to get a sense of being, a sense of security, a sense of gratitude, and a sense of ease that maybe in normal life you might not feel every day. Notice again where your heart or your mind are tender. Is there a part of your mind or heart or body that needs attention, that needs care? Rest there. Bring loving tenderness, compassion, kindness, and love. You are worthy. You are enough. You are beautiful and wonderfully made. Take a few more moments center yourself in your breath, in your body. And then in a few moments, we will gently bring our attention back to this space. Try to keep that sense of blessing, grounding, and belonging. Come back. You can gently open your eyes. Welcome the light of another. Welcome the light within. Thank you.
We will now sing hymn number 216, Hashivenu. As the season of the Jewish High Holy Days is rapidly coming, the words of this hymn are, "Return us, Adonai, and we shall truly return. Renew our days as in the past." Hashivenu, Hashivenu, Adonai elecha, v'noshuva, Hadish, Hadish, Yaminu Gekedem. Hashivenu, Hashivenu,
Hello. My name is Rhoda Kleiman-Haga, and my pronouns are she, her. Let me tell you a story about belonging that I started writing in Deacon's writing group. For a good portion of my younger life, I wasn't sure if I belonged. I had friends, went to college, but I guess something hadn't clicked. Chinese culture and biology both interested me. I tried going the route of getting a PhD in anthropology, but somehow that wasn't quite right. I tried working in a lab, but that wasn't quite right either. Finally, I thought to put it together and study Chinese medicine. A light went on, and I was soon in love. When I got to acupuncture school in my 30s, for the first time, I felt like I was right where I belonged. The people around me were also in love, and we worked together with passion. Of course, we had our differences, but we had in common a desire to learn this medicine that felt fascinating and true, and then to use it to help other people. For most, this was also tied in with some kind of spirituality. It was a meeting of the minds and of souls. It was finding my calling. After the first year of study together, we became a tight group and sometimes laughed at ourselves when we noticed we were excitedly talking about bodily functions over lunch. We supported each other through our studies, but also in our personal lives. Thanks to this group, I had the community I needed to leave a bad relationship and was welcome to bring my daughter with me as a newly single mom. Others were supported through relationship changes, losses, personal growth. Cultures met and learned about each other, sometimes clashing, but mostly getting along. We grew together like the roots of trees, intertwining and nourishing each other at the same time as the branches dance around in the air. When we graduated, we began to go our separate ways. Sure, I still have some connections, but I also found belonging can be impermanent. It comes and goes. A few years ago, I had some other life losses that led me to New Jersey to be near family. So again, I was looking for community, for belonging, and I came across Summit Beacon UU. Quickly, I saw that not only could this be a place to belong, it was a place that actively nourishes community and a shared passion for justice and equity. Little by little, once more, I'm finding I'm right where I belong. Our stories matter, yours and mine. They help us make meaning of our lives and the world around us. That's what a religious community does, grounds us in our values and reminds us that we are part of something larger than ourselves. Our mission comes alive in our stories. Now we move into a time where we give generously to magnify Beacon's light in our lives and in the world. In a minute, you'll see ways to contribute to Beacon. We invite you to learn lean into this practice of generosity. I know firsthand it makes a difference. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing your story, a gift this morning. Our morning offering will now be most gratefully received.
I invite you to rise in body or spirit and join in singing. We'll be singing We'll Build a Land, which is hymn number 121, and we'll sing one verse of it together. We'll build a land where we bind up the broken. We'll build a land where the captives go free, where the oil of gladness dissolves some morning. Oh, we'll build a promised land that can be. Come, build a land where sisters and brothers, anointed by God, they then create peace, where justice shall flow down like the waters, and peace like an ever-flowing stream.
It's good to sing again together, and I hope some who are joining us online are singing in your homes, wherever you may be joining us from. The only true belonging is the courage to stand alone and belong to ourselves. Those are the words of Azriel Rochelle. The only true belonging is the courage to stand alone and belong to ourselves. It was sometime in 2017. I had just moved to New Jersey. Donald Trump had become president, and there were several Trump flags on the street where our rental was. I felt unsure, to say the least. Being in a new place, trying to get to know my neighbors, navigating a new school for our twins. I didn't really feel that I yet belonged anywhere, if I'm honest. So, when a group of progressive parents proclaimed at the preschool that they would be the welcome committee for all of the new families, and I stalked their social media posts just a little bit to make sure it was for real, this queer newcomer with twins was elated. I saw them just a few days later. Standing outside, it was a chilly morning, and they were chatting with one another. I could kind of hear the laughter floating across the lawn as we made our way toward the school. I dropped the twins off, and when I came out, they were still there chatting. I told myself 1,000 times, this is not middle school. This is not middle school. They were in that croissant formation, or croissant, that Dr. Tooley told us about a little bit ago. And so I saw an opening, and I had my very best yellow jacket on. It just beamed extroversion. And so I mustered up my courage, pun intended, mustard. I really worked for that one. And I thought maybe I'd get at least a pity laugh after Sebastian. Oh, thank you. So I walked up toward this crew that seemed so congenial and welcoming, and just as I started to approach them, the croissant became a donut. And the circle was closed. Worse yet, several of those parents talking to one another looked right through me. They went back to their laughter and whispers. Mean parents can be the worst. I am a whole grown woman with a great deal of courage. But darn if that wasn't a sucker punch. You know the feeling, right? I can tell by the head nods. Not getting the invite to the cool parents group, or maybe the neighborhood barbecue at the neighbor's house who always has the best music and most enticing party every weekend. Worker colleagues going out on a Friday, not inviting you. Collegial gatherings that you find out about weeks later when something's posted on Instagram. High school cliques, the in group, the cool kids. We have so many phrases to describe the experience of not belonging, of being on the outside. But this year, friends, I was ready. This year, I got an invite. I got an invite to the parents' breakfast. I'm pretty sure I'm not supposed to talk about it on the live stream, but I went. This year, I said, was going to be different. I was living in an inclusive community, and this year my children were making friends, and school was back after so much uncertainty across the last 2 years. I was riding high these past few weeks on a wave of social inclusion when I read a social media post in a parents group in our town where a mother described an oh-so-familiar situation: the turned backs, the whispers, the closed circle. And so this was on my mind, the contrast between my own sense of at last belonging and an experience that a mother just streets away from me had that same week. I was swirling all of this around when I went to the very first PTA meeting that I've ever been to in my life. And there I sat, close to the people I knew. And there, I crested that croissant into a donut. Why? Why, after having the experience of exclusion, after even reading this social media post, why had I myself turned my back to someone new? I didn't even realize I was doing it till I left the meeting. The opposite of belonging, according to Brené Brown, is fitting in. I'll say that again. The opposite of belonging is fitting in. She says because true belonging requires you to be who you are, not to betray yourself. Whereas fitting in is an endless act of excluding others and your true self. You never show up fully when you're trying to fit in, trying to hide the fact maybe that you're tens of thousands of dollars in debt, trying to hide that your marriage is crumbling or you're afraid for your child and the way that they act, that you don't have an amazing relationship with your parents, or that you're carrying grief and rage and you don't know what to say anymore when someone asks, "How are you doing?" Fitting in demands a facade. We tend to think of belonging sometimes at a basic behavioral level like water. If we get access to it, it's a scarce resource that we need to retain. And if we share it, we have less of it. But in truth, belonging is more akin to fire. It's not diminished at all in its sharing, but increased. It's one of the primal forces of power that we have as a species. Belonging. Adrienne Maree Brown, an organizer and social theorist, thinks and writes extensively about belonging, which she believes we've confused with identity. She says identity is something externally defined by the world. But belonging, she says, is about community, as Rhoda shared. And for those, she says, with histories of forced, not folks on the live stream, you can't see the most gorgeous child who's smiling at me. No, two gorgeous children who are smiling. How good it is to have children in our midst. Belonging, huh? Children can make you feel belonging almost instantly. So Adrienne Maree Brown teaches that those with histories of forced displacements and disconnections, for us, belonging is spiritual and somatic work. In her words from this month's community group packet, belonging doesn't begin with other people accepting us. It begins with our acceptance of ourselves, of the particular life and skin each of us was born into, and the work that that particular birth entails. From that deep place of belonging to ourselves, we can understand that we are inherently worthy of each other. Even when we make mistakes, harm each other, lose our way, we are worthy. When we belong to ourselves and to this earth again, then extending belonging to others is an embodied expression of our internal reality. It just flows. How to make friends? Start with yourself. Never cast yourself outside the circle of your own light. Our Universalist faith teaches of a love that does not let go. And I don't know about you, but I'm always thinking of someone else who's getting that love. Right? It's for all these imaginary folks that I can create that love will never let go of. And that is true, but also, Our spiritual ancestors fought for the teaching, even at the conviction of heresy, even at death, fought for the teaching of this love, not just for some imaginary people, but also for us, for you and for me. Nothing you do casts you outside the circle of love. In truth, I'm still fighting the demons of fitting in. They whisper, "You're almost there." Don't let them know that part. Like Mallory, conflating the what of who I am told that I am with the deeper question of how I belong to myself, to my communities, to our earth. Several months ago, a little girl, Ari, came into our care. She is here this morning. Some of you saw her light a candle. She has had significant disruptions, dislocations, or being removed from her home, and then a major surgery to remove all of her baby teeth. I saw on social media, as I was looking for ways to build up her self-esteem in the midst of all of these changes and trauma and getting her ready for school, I saw a mom who, when she does her little girl's hair, she repeats affirmations into the mirror as the little girl watches. And so began a journey with Ari and I every night doing these affirmations. I also read an article that a child's self-esteem and their sense of image of their own body is built largely upon how their parents view their own bodies. Even when a parent praises a child's body and gives tons of affirmation, if they are disparaging of their own body, the child will have a lower sense of self-image. No pressure. So Ari and I began this practice of affirmations. That was easy. It's easy to affirm an adorable 4-year-old. That's not a hard practice, I hope, for any of us. After doing her hair one night, I started the litany. "Ari, you are beautiful." She would do the hand motion and say beautiful. "You're strong." She would do strong and say it. "You're smart." She would do smart. "You're loved." We went through this just about twice, maybe 3 times. And then she said, "Beautiful," and pointed to me. And I said, "Ari is beautiful." "Yeah, beautiful," she said again, pointing to me. And I repeated, "Ari is beautiful." Now she was growing frustrated because Honey was being a little dense. She started to wave her hands. "No, no, no, you." And then it kind of evolved into a game of who's on first as I said, "Yes, you. Ari is beautiful." And she said, "You." And I said, "Yes, you." Then she said, "Me." And I said, "Yes, you." And she grew to start waving her hands until at last I figured it out. I kind of laughed with discomfort, thinking that would be enough to make her stop trying to get me to say that I am beautiful. But that was not enough for Ari, who would not leave the bathroom mirror until I did it. And so, guided by a 4-year-old, with a host of dislocations and ruptures from community, I got a lesson in belonging as I looked into the mirror and said, "I am beautiful." The time will come when, with elation, you will greet yourself arriving at your own door, in your own mirror, and each will smile at the other's welcome. All your life, whom you ignored for another who knows you by heart, Take down the love letters from the bookshelf, the photographs, the desperate notes. Peel your image from the mirror. Sit. Feast on your life. Come, beloved, remember that fire, the truth of your belonging. Peer with me now into the mirror. And let us magnify the greatest light that was always there. Come, magnify this love, and know in your bones this original blessing. You too belong here, in the creation of beings. Beautiful, strong, smart, loved. Amen.
Thank you to everyone who helped lead our service today. Our ushers, greeters, our AV team, our staff, and most of all, to you for joining us. Would you please rise in body or spirit to sing Where We Go, I Will Go by Shoshana Jedwab. Now, if you don't know the song, we'll be singing each line a few times so you can start picking up where you go. Where you go, I will go, beloved. Where you go, I will go. Where you go, I will go, beloved. Where you go, I will go. And your people are my people. Your people are mine. Your people are my people. You're divine, my divine. And your people are my people. Your people are mine. Your people are my people. You're divine, my divine. Where you go, I will go, beloved. Where you go, I will go. Where you go, I will go, beloved. Where you go, I will go. And your people are my people. Your people are mine. Your people are my people. You're divine, my divine. And your people are my people. Your people are mine. Your people are my people. You're divine, my divine. You're divine, my divine.
I invite you, beloved, as you are comfortable, perhaps to place hands on one another's shoulders or to take hands or maybe just extend. And for those joining us across this live stream, I invite you to place your hand on your heart as we close with this blessing. Come, beloved, renew the words once more. Where you go, I will go. No one cast beyond this circle of light. Beloved, no one beyond this love. This light, now blown out into the world once more, until we meet again. Blessed, blessed may you be. Amen.